In this video we're going to be talking about learning and practicing algorithms, how to do it well, and what is the key. But first off, what is an algorithm? Well, an algorithm is just a series of steps that gives you the result that you want. So in the case of solving a Rubik's Cube, an algorithm is a series of moves that you learn, which you know the outcome of. So for example, I know a sequence of moves that will swap these two pieces and these two pieces. It's called a T-perm. So it's just a sequence of moves that gets you to the result that you desire. So here is an example of an algorithm written out. This is the T-perm that I was just explaining. So in this case it's R, U, R prime, U prime, etc. Which corresponds to R, U, R prime, U prime, and so on. Now the key to learning all of these things is muscle memory. Muscle memory is the key. If you try to learn it by memorizing R, U, R prime, U prime, well, you might be able to be honest. You might be able to eventually, but you won't be able to remember, say, 57 OLL cases, algorithms, because that's too much for the brain to hold easily. And it will also slow you down. So muscle memory is the key. But what is muscle memory? Well, muscle memory is where your brain stores a memory of what your hands are doing at any one time, so that you can repeat a series of moves without thinking or looking at it, which is very useful because it enables you to be doing other things with your mind, thinking about what you're going to do next and planning when you're solving the cube, which enables faster times. So muscle memory is the key. How do you put something in your muscle memory? Well, there are three main steps: repetition, focus, and precision. So it can all be summarized with do one, do it well, do it lots. Repetition. The way you get something in your muscle memory is to do it a number of times over and over again. That's why you can remember how to do your PIN and type it in without thinking about it on, say, your smartphone. It's why you can do your password without thinking about where the letters are. It comes down to repetition. Once you do it enough times, your brain stores a memory of what the sequence of moves and the movement of the fingers are. So focus is important. If you try to learn more than one at any one time, your muscle memory doesn't work as well because you need focus. It can only really learn how to store one muscle memory at a time well. So the key is to do one until you've got it down, it's solidly embedded in your muscle memory, before you move on to the next one. And precision. This is because it is easier to learn how to do it precisely at the beginning and get that stored in your muscle memory than it is for you to change your muscle memory later. So in the case of an algorithm, you want it to be smooth with as many perfect turns as possible, so you're not relying on corner cutting, which requires precision. If you get this done to begin with, then you won't have to go back later and try to work on your accuracy of turning, which will actually be quite difficult. You want to get it down now so that that's solidly in from the beginning. Do one, do it well, do it lots. Okay, so the next step is to break it down into trigger moves. So let's take a look here at our T-perm again. So a trigger move is a series of moves, a short series that is inside the algorithm that comes up a lot or that you already know. So for example, in this one, you probably already know R, U, R prime, U prime. It's quite a common algorithm from the beginner's method. Now you've got R prime, U prime, R, U here, which is just this, but slightly different. So it's the R and the U are inverted and the R and the U are not inverted in this case, whereas they are completely opposite in the other one. So you probably know that. Another key trigger that you'll probably learn at some point is R prime F, R F prime, which you've sort of got the first half of here. So you've got the R prime F, and instead of R it's R2, so it falls down at this point, but you sort of know it. So what you want to do is break it down into a series of moves are called triggers, like so. And you want to focus on your finger tricks with each trigger. Now the best way to do this, if you're not sure how to finger trick an algorithm, is to watch example solves, see how the fast cubers do it, and copy them basically. Break it down into triggers, make sure you focus on your finger tricks so that you get the accuracy perfect, and you can execute quickly. And as soon as possible you want to ditch your cheat sheet with it written out, because at that point you're not relying on reading it, you're relying on your muscle memory. It doesn't matter if you fall down halfway through, just go back, look at it afterwards and then start again. Ditch it as soon as possible, because this will help you progress as soon as possible. This is often forgotten when you learn an algorithm. People learn how to execute and perform the algorithm, but they don't learn the recognition. Now with OLL, for example, which is making the top face all one colour, recognition is possibly the hardest part. So you want to learn what the case looks like when you're doing it. The best way to do this is to every algorithm is like a cycle. You perform it enough times and it gets back to the beginning. So what you want to do is figure out initially how many times you have to perform it to get back to the beginning, and then once you've ditched your cheat sheet, I would not look at the cube for the first, so if say it was a 6th time to get back to the beginning, like R, U, R prime, U prime, I wouldn't look for the first 5, and so you get to a case like this, and then I'd look and I'd see the case and then do it again, which just helps me to stick the recognition in the memory as well. So make sure you learn the recognition that goes along with it. Don't move on too soon. I've talked about the dangers of trying to learn more than one algorithm at once. If you move on too soon, then your muscle memory won't be secure, your recognition won't be there, and actually if you get it in a solve, you'll be struggling to remember it and it will actually hurt your time. So don't move on too soon, make sure you've got it down before you move on. And don't worry, learning algorithms gets easier with time. Your brain is brilliant at training itself. As you learn how to do it once and then you learn another algorithm and another algorithm, just the whole process of picking them up and retaining them gets easier. Your brain gets more refined at how it does it, and it does get easier. So don't give up. And after that comes success. You've learnt it, you can move on and do the next one. Don't be daunted by, say, learning full OLL 57 algorithms or full PLL 21 algorithms, because you can get there. You just have to keep plugging away and commit the time to each one individually. Work through this training method and you'll get there. Thanks for watching. I hope it was helpful. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button and subscribe. Enjoy your day.